and reporting and the integration. And side by side, while having an interaction with the business and the functional consultant, I was also trying to learn the business processes. Not the business processes what dynamic what that Infor offers, but also the custom tailor-made processes that business requires. But when I transition into this dynamics world, I carry two knowledge base as it is. One, whatever the capability that Infor provides as it is, I just try to distinguish what additional that Dynamics offers. So I try to connect with a bunch of folks within the community and the organization that I was working with during those days back in 2005. So there was an organization in 2005 called as Blue Star Infotech in Mumbai, and a couple of people were there who are having a knowledge on Navision ERP as well as the finance and operation as ERP. So I learned a lot from them. So that helped me to distinguish between what I need to focus more in the area of the functional side. Second, when it comes to the technology in the Infor world, in the Sightline, they were having a different architecture for technology. Whenever you used to develop some logic, they used to have a SQL store procedure. Okay, they were not having any kind of a programming languages the way we have in our ERP landscape. So I learned a lot in the SQL procedures because I was having that learning and passion for understanding how the technology works. And here, when I joined the Blue Star Infotech in the Dynamics world, they allow me a technical training. So that technical training was basic. That was the company called System Advisor Group in Bangalore. They used to arrange those sort of training, and I learned from them. A bunch of folks were there. Suvash and Hari was there. And then based on that, I myself spent more additional time in terms of how that stuff works. So that is what I learned, and I transitioned from Info to Dynamics.
Okay, thank you, Rakesh.
Yeah, Joshua, go ahead.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you. I was going to ask about what's it called now? Imposter syndrome. I believe as professionals, you probably have been in situations where you know some things and your colleagues, as a consultant, they tell you you are good at this, but occasionally you just feel like, okay, maybe I'm not ready for this. How do you deal with that? I mean, I can give you
Okay.
the background to this question if you want me to go into that.
No,
Yeah,
I think
please
I
do
do
that.
understand that part. Maybe Rakesh, you can add, but I would put very simple, and it is a known thing. Everyone knows that it's not only this profession, right? Every profession has this part, right? Sometimes we ignore our own achievements, right? So I would suggest, like, don't believe that just because your colleagues are saying or something, right? Maybe try to maintain something on a daily basis, that what did you achieve, what where you made the contribution, right? So if you have, let's say, in the morning, you when you start your work, you put five things that, okay, these are the five things I'm going to do. And end of the day, when you see that, okay, did I do these tasks properly, and be honest with yourself, right? And if you are able to execute, and if the answer is yes, and then and if you are able to understand that yes, it was delivered like how you wanted to deliver, right? So your colleagues are not lying, right? You are not imposter, okay? You are really making difference, and you are good in your learning track. And in our consulting business, one of the thing which I believe, your colleagues can possibly talk, I mean, maybe appreciate you because of your relation and everything, or maybe other person, right? But if you get a appreciation from your customers, right? That is a true appreciation, and that cannot be the fake, or that cannot be just out of the relationship, right? So if you are able to deliver things to your customers as a consultant, architect, or whatever role you are, right? And if the customer is appreciating and finding the value in what you are doing, right? That means you are on a right track. You are having that skill set, you have that knowledge, and you are not an imposter, in my opinion. Right. So those are the few things I would say. Maybe Rakesh, if you want to add something to that?
I think you covered almost all the aspects, Saurabh. That is what I was trying to highlight.
Yep. Okay, next question. Anyone else? I think that is the problem with my monthly session, Rakesh. You know, we cover so much things, in the end, people
Yeah,
maybe they run
yeah.
out of the question or run out of the time or something.
Maybe. So,
Yeah,
Saurabh, while just going through the questions, the one idea came to my mind. Although we are discussing on how to become a solution architect, I can see in this group we have a diverse expertise sort of group, right?
yeah,
Someone who came from a background of different ERP, someone is having a technical background, and someone is having a functional background. Okay. But one of the common thing that I have seen as an architect, you should not be restrict yourself only for the functional, right? It's a combination of business acumen, it's a combination of the consulting knowledge, it's a combination of everything together, right? And then it's up to individual how they can grow, in that path. What I believe so, coming back to the main point, Saurabh, I think we can also plan a series of session, a dedicated audience, the way you have, focus on to explain them what Dynamics technology offers, okay, so that they can fulfill the need if they want to become architect. For an example, a guy who understands the functional finance and supply chain management area quite well, any processes, right? But we can arrange a session that as an architect, what would be the day to day or day in the life kind of a scenario, right? Second, in today's world, what Dynamics 365 offers? Like Dharmendra asked one question that how do I know the Power Apps, Power Automates can be used, right? On someone, I think Riganka also asked the question, how do I ensure that what technology that I can help customer to engage with it? Because I come from a background of finance. That is what he mentioned. What I foresee here, people probably is not having a idea about technology that Dynamics offers and what would be the best fit for the customer if they really want to become a the solution architect. I think those sort of amalgamation of those sessions maybe give them better understanding and then they can take it up further from next time onwards. In my view.
that's absolutely true, Rakesh. And that is where our end-to-end training, which we done, right, for 17, 18 session we done. That's where it started after first month. That way we understood that people need more help to become a functional consultant or this side, right? And now today this topic is opening up another possibly an initiative where we need to have at least a series of discussions at least on this architect path. And I think let's plan something. Maybe we just need to I need to possibly take a break bit, but maybe in next few months we can definitely plan something better to take this journey ahead.
Yeah. Maybe we can start with the day in the life scenario for
Yeah.
architect so that
Yep.
they will understand what architect does in a day-to-day activity, very specific for dynamics. And
Yeah.
then from there, we can just pick and choose those pinpoints and explain. For an example, for functional folks who need a better understanding of technical, we will deliver those specific session. Technical folks who need a functional understanding plus technology side of the story, like Raj put a one question over there, right? That do I need to stick to customization or the extension? What would be my best strategy, right? However, as you mentioned, right, no one is perfect by any measure in this world, but at least we can reach to accuracy, if not 100%, close to 90% as an architect, right? So I think those sort of two track maybe we can plan in
Yeah.
future in my hand.
Yeah. Let's work on that. Yeah, Raj, do you want
I
to
mean, I
have?
mean, I think we can ask this question to our team also. I mean, if they are really having that sort of, if anyone having different view, we can certainly understand that as well.
Yeah, no. I think, and when we will plan, right, generally what I do is I try to take the interest from the people, like whether they are really interested in what we are thinking, right, so that we know that we are delivering the value to them, right? So we will do in that way possibly. Okay, Raj, you have your hands, I think,
Yeah,
and I
start the
asked you
question, right?
to ask later on, so maybe that's the right time you can ask your question now.
Thank you so much, Saurabh. So I already posted the question on Rakesh should have taken it. So it's about like considering how the scope of like moving into more of our platform side. So should the integrations or should whatever customizations we would be building for future at a scalable system perspective.
Your
Should have
voice,
a
Raj, is not
platform.
audible, huh? Your
So you're
voice
not
is
able
not
to hear me
audible.
now?
It is
No,
not like it is breaking
it's,
in between.
it's
But if I
yeah, bit
understand
feeble.
your question is that how do you take decisions as an architect? What should be integrate? What should be customized? And all also, I think in those aspects. Is that correct? That
It's basically on the evolution of Power Platform into our landscape. So considering the evolution of platform into a landscape, Power Platform into a landscape, how we are more, getting integrated with that. So in future, if I have to build a scalable integration, should it always have something like a Power Platform flavor into it? Should I use or stick to using more into Power Automate or using the virtual entities concept? It's more of a technical question. Maybe Rakesh can much help on that. And at the same time, since you're also from Microsoft side, so how is the push from Microsoft side on the Power Platform side to use
maybe
it in
let maybe
implementation?
Rakesh can answer that. But I have a very simple answer for that. But yeah, Rakesh, maybe let you answer that if you want to share your thoughts.
I think I think my answer will take bit time, but I'll see. Okay, first and foremost, Raj, your question is very valid, and in day-to-day activity, this is very common questions, right? But as an architect, how you want to look at? Okay, in my view, you should not look at okay what my technology offers, what Microsoft promotes, so on and so forth. That definitely required, no doubt about, it, right? That definitely required, right? But before we go there, you need to first understand what your customer requires, because many customers they have well defined their entire ecosystem for integration. So first you have to understand what is the customer strategy for that. Okay. For an example, if the customer having a well-versed thought process and the Power Platform family product in their ecosystem, then definitely it will be a win-win situation as an architect for you to convince customer. But if that is not the case, then it is going to be very challenging sometimes to explain customer, because although you try to bring the technology angle in front of customer, customer is not sticking to that. Customer will ask a basic question. Help me to understand the licensing part of the story for this aspect, right? So you have to be very careful about when you deal with those sort of questions. Second aspect, what you mentioned, right? That you try to propose a power platform, and again, your solution should be always and always adhere to the Microsoft thought process. For an example, uh, nowadays, Microsoft initially proposed the integration for Dynamics 365 apps or a Power Platform family product using a dual write integration, right? But in a recent days, they found that the platform may or may not be focused only on specific set of use cases. So they try to brought forward a new concept of virtual entity. Okay, they brought forward the concept from data work, and then eventually it becomes a virtual entity in Dynamics as a data entity. So you have to think from that perspective. So if you ask me, the first aspect that you have to put forward, what is the Microsoft vision and a strategy? Is this something aligned with my project? Step number one. Step number two, if it is aligned, what as an architect I'm going to propose? If I'm going to propose, what would be my licensing impact if I talk about to my customer? And third, which is important, first and two, first and second, if that not come to the picture, then adhere to the customer organization guidelines. Okay, you cannot grow beyond those customer guidelines, right? Otherwise, it will be tremendous job for customer to switch everything. Okay, so to answer your question, simple, follow the guideline what Microsoft proposed. Why? Because you cannot stick to your own guidelines, right? Because if you stick to one platform and tomorrow if Microsoft deprecate that frameworks, the whole story is going to be changed for your customer, right?
Yeah,
That's true. That's
and
yeah.
just wanted to add to that, right? I said like my answer would be very simple. Like if I say, right, first is what is the problem? Okay, what are the possible solutions? Whatever the solutions are, let's say customer has in-house solution. Microsoft is telling you some Dataverse or Power Platform, whatever the solutions. What is the problem? What are the solutions there? and identify your key criteria on which you are going to evaluate that solution. For example, usability, the license impact. If it is specifically integration, then the volume, asynchronous, synchronous, all those criteria, right? So put your all criterias, put your all the 4 options, 5 options if you have it, right? Along with the cost and the licensing, and evaluate which one is the best for that customer. And the customer might have its own middleware, because you possibly not might be implementing Dynamics alone. They might have 10 more applications which are integrating to your Dynamics. Now, just for, and those integrations are possibly working on a existing middleware. Just because you want a Microsoft technology, you can't introduce something from the Microsoft there, right? So simple, what is the solved problem? What are the possible solutions? What are the key criterias on which you want to evaluate, and which one is the best fit for that specific customer, not for Microsoft, not for yourself, not for anyone else, and in the long term, right? So I think my approach for any of the problem, not only integration, as an architect, this would be the best approach. And then Microsoft already have lot of methodology frameworks for every strategy, that for integration, how you should think, environment, how you should think, data, how you should think, reporting, how you should think. There are a lot of guidelines they have already provided on that architectural view as well. Okay.
Sure. That sums it up.
Gurpreet?
Thank you so much, Patience, Sarah.
No worries. Gurpreet, do you want to ask your question? Maybe we will take 10 more minutes and then we will wrap up. Otherwise, it will be possibly endless discussion. Okay. So Gurpreet, you want to go next?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Saurav and Rakesh, for this wonderful session. It was really insightful for someone like us. And I want to ask, like, is there a way we can understand, or we can come to know that what companies are, implementing Dynamic 365 FNO? Like, is there something in Microsoft or some like
I think,
websites we can follow?
yeah,
My
that's
question is
a,
because
no, that's a
I'm
very
looking
valid
to,
question. Very valid question, so that you
yeah,
know where the opportunities are. But I don't
yeah.
think so. And there is any open resource which is available to, I mean, show this. There are certain things like about the partners, right? Who all are the official partner for Microsoft? There is a portal which is there where by the region and the countries and all, you can find out who are the different partners working in this space. For the customer, there are customer success stories available on Microsoft, but that's very limited, right? Some small percentage, but there are a lot of more projects going on and all. I'm not sure about any resource as of now which is available about this information, Gurpreet.
Yeah, since I was, I was going through LinkedIn, and it's the market is like maybe quiet, or maybe, I'm not reaching out to the right companies, right? I want to have some targeted companies where they are having,
I think,
this
see, in
implemented.
that way, I think, in my opinion, the recruiters are the best. There are, I
Mhm.
think, depends on the country where you are, right? There are specific consulting firms, the recruiters, they operate into
Mhm.
this space and they know very well. They have information basically because that's their bread
All
and butter,
good.
right?
Yeah,
So
making
reach out
sense.
to
Yeah,
them.
thank
I
you.
think that is the best way to find out your targeted company or the right company for yourself.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Najib?
Hi, this is Nazim. Thanks for amazing session, and also the that the the that the award training sessions as well. So I have a question with regards to like any plans to have the session on the transition of from LCS to the Power Platform. And my second question is with regards to Dynamics 360, all this like a Power Platform, Fabric, data, like how each of them connect with a Dynamics 365, So if you
Yeah, I
can.
think on the first one, I think I'm not sure if we can have the session. We can definitely have the session. But about this migration, there are a couple of community sessions which are already posted, and it is, I think, available on YouTube. If you will look into like LCS to PPAC migration, right? And this is, I think most of these sessions are presented by the Microsoft as well, right? I remember in the recent Dynamics Minds conference, this was presented. And I think earlier also, and those are available on YouTube, I think. So I would suggest to look for any session which is already delivered on a community forum, because that's a very specific topic, to have on this forum. I don't know, like if I will be able to bring those people or not, but I'm 100% sure there are multiple sessions available on YouTube about this specific migration. Okay.
Sure. Thanks. Thank you.
Or maybe Nazim, if that is asked, we can have a dedicated session on the first topic, where I will try to cover the LCS to PPAC journey transition, some sort of presentation slide, and then we will switch the gear on the deployment side of the story, right?
Excellent. That sounds
Where
great. Yeah.
we will try to see, how that licenses transition. Maybe I can cover that aspect as well. How that license transition would help as an architect to understand what is the new model of the licensing that is allowing us to deploy the environment into PPAC. What is the if and but when we need a dev machines in a PPAC or a test machine in PPAC, okay? Or for that matter, how that admin experience look like. Or if I go beyond that journey, then when you deploy that environment in the PPAC, what should be our approach to consider that, right? And then in addition to this, how this new journey of Dynamic 365 Finance and Operation App ERP going to be look like? Okay, how it is going to be delivered from a Power Platform journey perspective, so on and so forth, right? So it will be a mix and match for functional folks, technical folks, and then those who really want to, embark the journey on the architect side, so that you can understand not only the Microsoft vision, but also the, the technology stack underneath. I mean,
Yeah, that's a great idea.
if
Thank you so much.
I
Yeah,
think
really
we can
appreciate it.
cover that as well. Huh?
Please, please, yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Rakesh, for the offer. I think let's plan that maybe next month or something. If we can have in the same forum, we can just look into that, right, and align on that.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the
Yeah,
second
yeah.
aspect, Nazim, that
Yeah.
would be more difficult on this the Azure side of the story that you mentioned, right? Fabric and all. Maybe we can
Yeah,
theoretical
exactly.
thought
Yeah.
process. Yeah, but I think we can cover Azure Synapse Link as well, maybe in one of the session, so that you can understand what that Synapse look like, how that information is going to a lake, what would the different model for licensing, what we are going to understand, how you run the Custo queries to bring the data on the UI, so on and so forth. I mean that would be a next step in my view. But I think Power Platform journey probably that will help to understand.
That's great. Excellent. Yeah.
Yeah, let's start with that and then we take that forward from there. Okay.
Thank you.
Anyone else has any question? Else we can close for today. I think we have a lot speaking. Yeah, Ola, go ahead. You can unmute yourself and ask. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Thank you guys for this session. So my question is based on consolidation reports. So I have a current project whereby the consultant, because I work for the customer, so the consultant recommends financial reporter to generate a consolidation report. So I also know that this can be achieved through the consolidation online. So I just want to understand the use case of both method and the logic behind the recommendation.
Oh, so you are asking what is a better tool for consolidation? That is that your question?
not just a better tool. I just want to know the use case for both method.
For the consolidation, is it?
Yes,
Your-
please.
No, consolidation use case, I think it is very finance specific topic, right? So any organization which is probably, let's say, operating globally. So let's say there is an organization having headquarter in US, and then they are having operations in, let's say, Europe, Asia, and different regions, and they have different legal entities as a subsidiary or the child entities. Now every organization will have its own financials presented, right, reported. But at a parent company level, if I want to understand that how I'm doing at a group level, you need to consolidate all these financials from the lower level, which is your child companies or the subsidiaries, right? So that's the consolidation concept logically, right? And in the next week session, right, which we have for our training, then the closing one, right, I'm going to talk about the financial reports as well. But that consolidation can have different strategy. That first you roll up to a, let's say, a regional level. So maybe in Asia, again, you have multiple legal entities in multiple countries. So you do the consolidation at a Asia level, then you do the consolidation at a Europe level or something. So you just roll up to a one level up, and then those three consolidation you roll up to a parent level, right? Now that's a strategy depending on the how big the organization is, how many legal entities they have, how many regions they are operating, in which currencies they need these consolidation. Because at a Asia level, let's say they want to do in one currency, Europe level they want to do in one currency, and then another region, and then they want to do finally at a dollar consolidation or something, right? So it really depends on how the structure is for that global company and at what level they want to do the consolidation, but the concept remains same. The approach would not change. The way you do the, let's say, 10 entities consolidation, you can do the 1,000 entities consolidation also same way. And there are tools. Now there is a financial report in Dynamics. There is a module in Dynamics. Uh, I mean, now it depends. I mean, it varies. Like some companies might say that I have an external tool also where I do my financial reporting. But in Dynamics, there are two key methods. One is financial report. You create the report, design your report, balance sheet, P&L, and trial balance, and also all the reports. Or you have a consolidation module where you create a consolidation legal entity itself and then run a process within the finance and operation, and then it has the transactions, and then you can create the report out of it. So that's how it works basically.
Okay,
I hope.
so there is no maybe a kind of special scenario of choosing which method to go for.
Uh, I think again, I said like you need to tell me if you have any scenario. If let's say if it is a simple 5 legal entities rather than creating a legal entity in the, or does that consolidation legal entity legally exist? Right? That is also one of the question. If it exists, then you create a legal entity in the system and then you roll up. And if it is not, if it's just a pure reporting, then you can create a report also out of it, right? Financial reporter. So whichever is easier to maintain, implement, and fulfilling the requirements.
Okay. The legal entities are not that many, maybe like 6 to 7.
So report, try with the financial report. If that's just the report they are looking for, then that's it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other question? Anyone else? As we close. 3, 2, 1. Okay, go. Thank you so much, Rakesh. First of all, I think I asked you 45 minutes something, but I think it is 2.5 hours now, and we planned a session for 1.5 hours only, but and that's happening every month. I think it is just because of the frequency we are doing once in a month, and the topics are wide and people have a different types of questions, right? So we try to, I think it's kind of just we sitting all together and then answering each other's question. That is also another objective. So there is no foundation also that people should stick to the whole 2.5 hour. If this is relevant, they can stay back. But I'm happy to see that still like I have 40 around people in the call after 2.5 hour. So that's amazing. And thank you so much for your time and offering the
No
new
problem. No
sessions.
problem.
And we will collaborate together and again bring more sessions to this forum. And thank you everyone for joining us, spending your weekend with us. It takes a lot of courage, I would say, on a weekends to attend our normal sessions and 2.5 hours. So almost you have spent 4 hours with me today on the Saturday, right? So thank you so much to all of you as well, and hope to see you soon again with the next sessions.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Saurav. Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
everyone.